you would never cancel an important meeting with someone else, but we never schedule one with ourselves. Sometimes you ask someone who looks tough, what's the toughest thing you've done? And they'll say, well, I lifted this, or I broke through this, or we achieved this. And then I was interviewing Jocko Willink, and he's a very well-known Navy SEAL, and he was a leader there, and I asked him, you know, what's the toughest thing you've ever done? And he said, it was seeing my friend die next to me on the mission and having to continue the mission.
The most difficult thing for me that I've been through is losing guys in combat, losing my friends in combat. And it's obviously something that is completely jarring to go through. It's soul crushing. And yet at the same time, you have to continue with the mission. The war doesn't end because you lose your friends. You have to keep fighting.
And when he said that to me, it was almost like there's this big, strong man with the softest heart. And he was like, that's the most difficult thing, is losing someone in battle and having to continue on anyway. And I thought, wow, like that resonated with me very deeply. Because I think physical feats are impressive and they are one thing.
They come from an emotional
strength. But they come from an emotional strength, exactly. I bumped into a security guard the other day who used to be in the military, and he was telling me that he was taught how to breathe when firing a gun. And so he was saying that he practiced breath work because you had to get into that rhythm, but he was also saying for focus and stillness. So if someone has to do that when they're firing a gun, which obviously is an extremely responsible task potentially, what to speak of all of us, right?
Please help us welcome Jay Shetty.
Thank you. Real empathy is connecting to someone in their emotional language, not yours. Right? That's real empathy, that's real connection, that's real compassion, is that you're able to communicate with someone and express your thoughts in their emotional language, not yours. And this is something we struggle with, because when we're feeling tired, exhausted, stressed, overworked, we communicate more in our language because we want to be heard, not realizing that when we fight for being heard, we actually alienate the other person. They're just disconnected because we're speaking a foreign language. That's literally what it sounds like. If this group is talking to this group and they're only talking about goals and schedules and plans, this group's going to say, but what about the people? What about people are exhausted, people are tired? What about how they feel? That doesn't mean they don't agree with you. They just want you to take into account people. It's not that they don't agree with your plans and goals and schedules and any of that. And you may sit there and go, well, they don't understand. They just don't get it. Like, we need to hit these targets. They don't understand. But you're both on the same team. You both need each other. Both mindsets are important. So then the question becomes, how do we care about people in the pursuit of our goal? And that's where all the focus goes. The focus now isn't, well, we're right because we're going to hit targets and that's what pays for everything. Or no, we're right because we care about people and obviously people are everything. It becomes, well, how do we hit our targets and care for people? How do we do that? If we both start having that conversation, you get some incredible synergy. So much of our life and society and our being today is divided. We have work and life. We have family and friends. We have personal and professional. And so many of our challenges in life come from the fact that we think we have to be in two places at once, that we have two sets of responsibilities. And when we talk about our well-being, we often think that's what we do after work. That's what we deal with when we get home. That's what we try and do on the weekend. And then when we're at work, we're wondering whether our well-being is in the right place. I've sat down and interviewed some incredible individuals, Jocko Willink being one of them. And when I've sat down with these Navy SEALs, I've talked to them so much about the power of breath, the power of presence, the power of stillness. We often think that force is the most powerful thing in the world. And sometimes when you speak to the strongest people in the world, they'll say it's not force, it's stillness. Right? Stillness is the most powerful thing in the world. Stillness creates more force than force itself, because that stillness creates clarity, it creates focus. So think about how you can find, again, just 2-3 minutes for that. All of these habits that I'm sharing today should take you no longer than 5 minutes each. And then finally, E, T-I-M-E. E is for exercise, moving, sweating. One of my favorite things is to see families compete over 10,000 steps. You'll be shocked at how much your partner is competitive when you all put on a Fitbit or a wearable or whatever it may be and see who gets to 10,000 steps first. The idea of moving is so powerful for our mind and our psychology. So those are 4 habits. Exercise probably a bit longer than 5 minutes, but the rest of them, if we could add thankfulness, inspiration, meditation, and exercise to our daily, weekly habits, you'll find that your personal well-being, your personal connection with yourself will elevate to levels that you never could have imagined. These simple habits have a giant impact. These simple daily investments have giant rewards. And they take very little time. They take very, very little time. And it's also a beautiful thing to bring to the table, to practice with your children, to practice with your partner. It's something that can be nicely brought into a family activity that makes it easier for each and every individual. So that's the first thing. The first thing is you. If your foundations are set, if you're feeling rooted and grounded, everything else is possible from that place. So grateful we got to spend this time together, and I hope to see you soon. Have an amazing year, everyone. Thank you. I had this thought a few years back, and it stayed with me. It's the idea that sometimes the thing that's holding us back is something we're holding on to. So we're so scared of letting go, of releasing, of moving forward, that we keep holding on to it. But we don't realize that when you hold on to it, it's holding you back. And I think we like to keep things close, and I think we have a tendency to hold on tightly to mindsets, behaviors, thoughts, ideas, the past. And often when we're holding on to it, gripping it tightly, that's what's causing the stress and the tension. If you think about your hands, when you're holding something really, really tightly and it's almost slipping from your grip, that's when it can hurt you the most, rather than when you release it by opening your hands and just letting it go naturally. So I find that when we're in moments of transition or change or evolution, it's so natural to want to hold on to something, but if you keep holding on to it, chances are it's going to hold you back. Here are 3 signs you're struggling with a lack of purpose. Number 1, you feel pressure to know what you want to do with your life. Number 2, you've lost interest in your own life and feel disconnected. Number 3, you don't know what your skills are, or you feel you lack them. Hope is not lost. You can get through this. Having purpose and meaning in our lives helps guide us through the ups and downs and create structure in our day-to-day life. That's why I've partnered with Calm, the leading app for mental health and wellness. The app has a library with thousands of meditations, songs to help you relax and focus, and sleep stories to help you get a good night's rest. And now you can find the Daily J, a daily series where I'm sharing proven tools and techniques to improve your mindset and mental health in a matter of minutes.